What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy DJ's Raw Uncut Truth. Give you that raw content that you deservedly need. And in my channel, everybody who subscribes, who supports my channel is certified real. Let me repeat that. Anyone who subscribes to this channel, follows me on social media, promotes my work, keeps it real with a brother, is straight genuine. They're real. And I appreciate every single one of you. We're going to have a good time today. We're going to have a fun discussion. We're going to talk about the Ball brothers, one of the Ball brothers, the forgotten one, the middle child, the one that gets hated on. You know who I'm talking about, Liangelo Ball. So Dwayne Casey, head coach of the Detroit Pistons, today stated that Liangelo Ball is an excellent player and that he likes him as a person and a player. He's very coachable. He does the little things well. He obviously likes his shot. Now, don't take my word from it. Dwayne Casey said this. You can look on Google. You can look on Twitter stream. All that information is there. So don't get mad at me for reiterating what Dwayne Casey had just said. Now, for those who know Dwayne Casey, know that he is not one of those say something good to, boost egos or anything. He's old school. So he's one of those coaches, if you're playing like crap, he's going to tell you you're playing like crap. If you're playing soft in the paint, he's going to tell you you're playing soft in the paint. If you're not giving effort, Dwayne Casey's going to tell you the effort is lacking. He's old school. So in my mind, there's some merit to what Dwayne Casey said when he told reporters that Liangelo is an excellent player. So we got some people in the chat. Shout out to Shank02. He sure did say he was excellent. Yep. And I'm not making this up. Trust me, I'm not making this up. He did say it. Tevin Boone in the house. He said, "Let's go." Facts, man. Let's go, brother. Everyone, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to join the panel, click on the StreamYard link. Cold Blooded says, so Jello has a chance. There's always a chance. Even in my other video, I stated that Liangelo has a chance, but it's going to be difficult. The other 15 players, they make a living too. And to be honest, they need the money more than Jello. But Jello's not playing for money. Jello's playing for pride. He's playing for a legacy, his last name. And a lot of people will say, well, Jello doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to make the NBA. But when you see your other brothers make the NBA and you did it, that's motivation. And he won't say it, but I will. You don't want to be the only family member not lasting long or making the NBA that long or being a success. You have your other brothers are. So I know in Jello's mind, just common sense. You don't want to be the guy that's different from the other brothers. Kevin Boone says two-way contract in the bag. Yes, sir. I said it in my video, and I kind of had slack from people. They thought I was just going to be unrealistic and say that Liangelo Ball is going to stay with the roster the whole year. I've been saying two-way contract from the beginning. Lack of offseason. This year's offseason in the NBA is shorter because of COVID-19 and the pandemic. So things are different. And If this was like, if you have a full training camp where it takes months, there may have been a full chance. But to get on an active roster, you have to at least get to that, like I say, 11 to 12 roster spot. Because people forget the 13, 15 range of the roster, most of those are two-way contract guys. And no one talks about it. So I just sent the link in the chat. Anybody want to join the panel? Make sure, if you join the panel, make sure that your microphone is working. No background feedback, none of that. Joaquin said, yes, sir. Oh, man. I mean, we certified fly up in here, man. We are certified fly. We got 20 plus people in the chat and a few likes. Hit them likes. Hit them likes, my brothers. But yeah, let me go back to Jello. What I want to see from him in this preseason is him establishing a role, quick-witted defense, smart plays, in his usual three-point shooting. That's all I want to see from Liangelo. And if he does those things, then there could be some progress. But yeah, I'm happy for the young brother. I've said for a while, no matter if Liangelo is playing in the G League or in the NBA, he's still a success. Anytime you've been doubted like he has been doubted, you had everything stripped from you because of the whole China fiasco, you're winning. And no one can take that from you. Not haters, not shines, not buffoons, no one. Because when you're successful, people switch up. Look how they're switching up for LaMelo. You got Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and others who were trashing LaMelo Ball to flip course and say, man, I'm happy for the dude. They in his comment section on Instagram saying how happy for him and all this stuff. But they were the ones that said that his career was wrong and that he would never make it in the NBA or he'll be a second round pick. I heard all this stuff. I've seen it. Well, to act like they're on his side just shows you how fake others are. Basketball, Hollywood, entertainment, there's no one real. There is no one real. There's no one genuine. They all want to say they're real, but they're not. And it's hard for me to say this with Steven Jackson because he's from Port Arthur. Shout out to Port Arthur, Texas, PA in the building. You know, I thought he would be a real one, but he attacked LaVar Ball like some bitter white chick, suburban white chick would. It was embarrassing, and you could tell that a lot of, let's say, athletes and entertainers, a lot, not all, are raised by single parents, and they didn't have, you know, structure. But I got someone in the building. I got Shanker in the building. What's good, my guy?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Yes, all praise, my brother, man. You've been a day one supporter, and I truly thank you. I'm giving you the floor to talk about this Liangelo Ball situation. How happy are you to see him just getting an opportunity to play in the NBA, even if it's a training camp or a 10-day contract, to him get this foot in the door?
Man, I am extremely happy. I mean, I think, I remember when I swear this kid was, I mean, he was 12 years old when I was playing against him. I was coaching against him and his dad. And, they haven't changed their style of play at all. And I don't think people realize, these three players have played the same way. They played with 5, 6 people. LaVar used to walk in the gym and nobody even knew, what to expect from the big baller. That's what they were called, the big ballers. And, we called it the Chitlin circuit because it was just it was a ghetto circuit of, in the hood. But, these were some ballers. These were kids who were about that business. And most of us had teams, with 13, 14 kids. He comes in with 6 playing up 3 to 4 years up. LaMelo, 9 years old, running around, can't even, reach the ball. But for some odd reason, this kid would burn you for 30. LaVar always said, the first one to 100 wins. Well, Jello had a lot to do with that because that fool could shoot from anywhere in the court. Just his shot was ridiculous. And so I think a lot of the things that we see right now, I expected. I just think that, with the media and what they've done, and DJ, you've been from day one, that's why I support, you and a few other the brothers on here that have been telling like it really is. I just know that these guys have been working their butt off for this beyond what people think. People see him on the show and think he's just, living a high life and running. And these dudes been putting it down from the get-go. And they've been dedicated. That's been a ball family. Like, they ain't no joke. They go to every game, grandparents, uncles, aunts, they all show up. They mob into a gym. It's like 30 deep every single game, every weekend. And this is like, they would play 4 or 5 games in a weekend. I watched Jello put up 50, 60, 70 points in AAU to high school. And people can say, well, his dad let him shoot that. He still had to make it, right?
Yeah, man.
He still had to make the back, he got in there. Then you got, Melo, everyone's, oh, well, he takes bad shots. Well, what you supposed to do when the guy that's guarding you 6'5" and you 5'2"? How are you supposed to shoot? So, I think a lot of it is just people don't know the history or don't know, the family in that way, not they haven't had the pleasure. A lot of people have. And if you from the Inland Empire, then you grew up around playing against them in Chino Hills. And, my son, we were in Rancho Cucamonga. So we're kind of competing cities.
Oh, yeah.
To them. And my kid was 6'1", 6'2" at 14, he went the football route. Whereas these dudes, when we were playing them, they were, I think Lonzo was the tallest one at the time. And I think he was the only one in AAU was dunking at the time too. That's why I laugh when people don't know about Lonzo's hop game, because his hop package is off the charts. He just hasn't used it yet. And that's, in my eyes, that's because of injuries. That's because he didn't trust his body. Well, we see that now. Jello, man, that dude, talk about being strong as an ox. I talk about PJ Tucker comparison because he's got the same build and he's strong as an ox. Literally watch him manhandle dudes who were in that 7-foot range like they weren't. He makes big dudes play small because he gets lower leverage and moves them out of the paint. So there's a lot of things that we haven't seen that he's capable of. And I think that the Detroit Pistons are hiding everything they can about him, because if they do let it out, he's gone. He ain't gonna stay there. Everyone could talk about Jello, his defense and his speed. Look, he can release the shot just like Klay Thompson. I haven't seen nobody with a quicker release. Jello can pop that shot from anywhere without. He's like a JJ Redick, just spot up, shoot. And when when you can shoot like that, there's a lot of teams that even the NBA players right now don't have his shooting percentage. They can't shoot like Jello. And people talk about their shot and critique his shot, critique all these boys' shots. But there's a lot of NBA players that can't shoot worth a damn, and they're making over 100 million. So let's really talk about it. Let's be real about what's really going on with this NBA.
Yes, sir, my brother. What you said was spot on, and you've been there. You were around the area, AU. So you've seen the Ball family work and how they are. They're all about basketball. I've been saying it this whole time. The Shines want to act like I'm making something up, and then the Shines have the nerve to say that LaMelo Ball, Liangelo, and Lonzo have bad work ethic when they eat, sleep, and grind basketball.
You can't, that's the thing is like, I used to get upset when I saw all these posts, but thanks to brothers like you, Saint, and I think AB, and there's a couple other brothers that are in this, that speak the truth about this, because these dudes, you just don't, the AAU circuit is grueling. I mean, if you know anything about it, I'm sure you do. Like, you can end up playing 5-6 games in a day, and just pound the pavement. Think about playing that many games and you only got 5 kids, 6 kids. You ain't subbing nobody. Lonzo, they play all 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever the games were, and they play 5 of them and win a tournament against a 16U team, and they're only 12. So, I mean, the dedication that the family had, not only that, the grandparents, everybody was at the game. And if you think Tina, the wife, was way more vocal than even Lavar was. Lavar was just he was coaching. So, he was yelling at the court, but Tina was the one controlling it from the stands. She ran the show. And so I think a lot of what we don't see a lot of what Tina brought to this, because a lot of they got a lot of that grit from her. I mean, she did a lot for making sure they were on the right path. They've been programmed, like Lavar said, they were born for this. They were actually born for this, man. I ain't lying. Like, I mean, I'm a one that believes in, when somebody talks up their kids and stuff like that, I believe in it. Because if you ain't gonna talk up your kids, who else is?
Absolutely, man. I heard rumors about Tina. I heard she was the dog of that family, man. She let it know,
Hey,
man.
you
They
can
got
hear her from
some outside.
outside in the parking lot.
Wow.
I mean, she was tough, man. She wasn't one of those moms that sit in the gym like, if because these were like I said, it was a kind of a tough environment in some of these gyms, and like, things would pop off. You know how it is. AAU parents weren't happy with people, and you just ain't nobody crossing that family. It wasn't nobody crossing, her. She 6'1" lady. She wasn't no joke, man. She was coming in there with her sons, and they had swag from the jump, because they should. When you 6 foot, when you 6 kids, you come in there and spank a tournament of the top kids. People don't know, in high school they still played against everybody around the nation. They played everybody. They beat everybody when they went undefeated. So how can they say, well, he scored 72 against boo-boo teams? No, they didn't. They were in the open division. This dude, Jello, was averaging 40, 50 points on average. Dude was killing them. I mean, 3-point assassin post game was there. He made it look easy. That's the problem. They made it look too easy for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people had a hard time believing in it until you show up at a high school game and it's sold out and they tell you can't get in.
Mm-hmm. Hey, brother Shanker, I gotta ask you this, man, because I'm tired of buffoons just going out and saying stuff that's remedial. I'm not Liangelo. LaMelo had a picture of him with a grill on, and everyone just lost their mind saying he hasn't earned the right to wear jewelry. This kid been having a Lambo since he was 16 years old. He been having gold chains since he was 14. Um, what? Why are people obsessed on wanting the Ball family to fail? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, it's, we're in this environment right now where, we can turn the cheek to other evils, but things that are right in front of us, we want to act like it needs to be absolutely perfect. He's 19 years old, and I've seen grown men at 40 to 50 years old putting grills in their mouth. I know I got uncles in Little Rock, Arkansas. I got uncles in Atlanta, and they all got grills in they jewelry box. So it ain't nothing. And to me, it's like you don't even know if he put it. Those are they temporary. They come out of your mouth. But like Lavar said, my son made $100 million. What gives anybody else the right to tell him? If I was Jello, if I was LaMelo, I would have had a different color set of grill for every 7 day a week, so everybody can get pissed off. I'll wear a blue one tomorrow. I'm gonna wear some red rubies the next day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just show, because if you don't think this is flash, we haven't seen nothing yet. This kid's a trendsetter. They all are. That why you think we really? I mean, everyone talks about, oh, well, if Jello doesn't make this team, look, that's not. If Jello don't make the team, they ain't hurting Jello. They hurting Detroit. You get me? They hurt in Detroit because you need the revenue. Ain't nobody turning. I'm not buying the NBA ticket to see Detroit play. I'm not buying the NBA ticket to see Charlotte play. I'm buying the ticket to see LaMelo play and see Jello play. And I'm not the only one who's doing that. So, those I bought the Pelicans. I didn't get the Pelicans game in my area. I'm in LA. So, for me, it's about the Lakers. But with Lonzo going to the Pelicans, I had to get the ticket. So these dudes are a bigger draw than your standard basketball. Everyone says, well, they got to have that. They don't have to be like that. What they have to do is think about it. We have a season where ain't nobody going to be in the stadiums. So it's about TV time. It's about how much time you're going to get on TV. How many games can you get on TV? That's where you're going to make your revenue back up, And if you don't have a draw to your small market, they're not going to give you no TV games like that. Well, Jello being in Detroit, they're gonna be on TV. No one's sending up to see Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. I'm sorry, but that ship is sailed, But seeing Jello have an opportunity to make it, even if he fails, the media still wants to see if he fails or not. So if he doesn't play there, they don't even get the chance to critique him on that. You know what I mean? So the family gets a lot of unnecessary stuff because people are jealous. They can't be them. You know what I mean? You can't do what Lavar has done. You can't sit there and talk all this, be this brash and say all these things and actually make what you say happen. And that's what he's done. Everything he said has happened. He said LaMelo would be 6'9", 6'10", possibly. Everyone's, oh, well, there's no way. Well, he's 6'7", 6'8" without shoes on. Guess what? He's 6'9". He put shoes on it. You wear it on the court, you wear shoes, right?
So he's almost there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's 6'9". I mean, I was watching it today, like 6'8", 6'9", big deal. Either one of those can swap my shit. They can throw anybody's stuff out. So at 6'8", 6'9", as a point guard, and he could possibly get to 6'10", we are staring at another Ben Simmons lookalike, body frame that could go, and gain the size and get the muscles. But at 19, with his ball handles, so I don't know. I just think that they put too much influence on the dumb stuff like the grill, the cars, and all this when they really don't think of it like that. I don't even think they care. They'll put the grill and throw it. He'll throw it on his dresser and not even think about it because it's just it's kind of like a phase you go through. This too shall pass. All the kids are going to go through these phases where they on diamonds, on Clark. Next thing you know, he'll be drinking wine. Look at LeBron and them, or all this wine and stuff. All of a sudden, they're alcohol connoisseurs. Okay, but in 10 years, he probably won't be drinking that either. He'll be going to cigars. So it's phases to this. And these guys need to go through their adolescent phase. They got mad because he didn't go to the prom, but they get mad because he has a grill in his mouth, which a 19-year-old should. A 30-year-old shouldn't.
Brother, you know what's crazy? LaMelo Ball himself said that he didn't care about the prom and all that, pageantry and stuff. He just wanted to hoop. He said this. But
exactly,
the buffoons out there won't take his word and they ignore it because they hate LaVar so much that they're so focused that they don't even listen to the kids. That's
right.
when you know it's toxic.
But you let little Timmy, who has rich parents, whose parents have made him well off. He drives a BMW to school. He goes and buys a nice Rolex watch. And if little Timmy doesn't want to go to prom, oh God forbid, but if he decides he wants to go to a yacht party with his friends, oh, that's cool. Well, LaMelo has brothers, you got Ferraris, you got all this stuff in the house. What's attractive about a prom? Ain't nothing attractive about that. Everybody goes to prom to do what? Go to the after parties after prom. So, I mean, this is not, we act like this is all brand new, but most of us, like most brothers like us, we all see through this stuff, but the media has to do something because LaVar doesn't give him enough. He's not an adulteress. He's not cheating on his wife. He doesn't beat up his kids. He doesn't have a history of drugs and abuse and all that. So what can they do? They have to find something to give them that, and that's what I always used to tell my kids. I don't want you to be perfect when you're young. I want you to make your mistakes while you're in your adolescence. So when you get to your 20s and 30s, you got that out of your system. We can make corrections now when you're in your teenage year. You can fix all that. You can't fix it when you get 30 and 40 and you're making these same childhood mistakes. And that's what
Mhm.
the thing about it is, Jello, he made a mistake. Well, he could fix it. Like Lavar said, we can fix this. This is not, you didn't commit something that's going to cost you your life, like prison time for the rest of your life. So this is fixable. Okay, it's a lesson learned because they have a good background. He ain't gonna do it again. This was just and one of the kids that he did it with, I actually coached Jalen Hill, who's at UCLA. That was one of my kids. So it's like these kids are. I know their parents very well. This is solid base. There's a difference when you got a solid base. These kids got a solid base. They did this out of mistake. This is something that's not going to be repetitive, And Jello, you're going to see a lot more things from Melo that are going to cause people to have a stir because he's young. He's 19. He's in the scene. He's a trendsetter. Everybody wants to follow him. You ain't gonna just sit there in your room and not do anything. Just play. This kid, he's got money. He's got things he's got to do. I don't blame him. Right now is when you date, you go out, you be wilding. But all I want them to do is handle that business first. That's
Exactly.
it.
And I gotta
Put it
say
down
this:
on the
any,
court.
anyone in the chat who has not spoken to me before or done a show with me or anything, I want you to join the stream. Now it's going to be limited, but anyone who has not spoken to me before, I'm not saying people who have talked with me personally. These are for people who have not. Uh, Also, that fake account right there, block it. We will not be having trolls on this stream. So y'all take care of that. I'm not even gonna put that message up. We're having a good conversation, and we got malcontents wanting to steal the show. But shout out to the moderators for doing your job. Um, Thank you guys for blocking that guy. Anyone with fake accounts will not be appreciated. So um, before we go on, I want to read this brother AW's comment. He said, LaVar is the only father that can say he has two sons that had a billboard up before they even played the game in the league. Put some respect on his name. Exactly.
Facts.
Never seen that. Never seen it.
Star power.
Yeah, that troll had the nerve to say we're just agreeing to agree. No, we giving props. And that's the problem with today's society. We got more haters than congratulators. Let me repeat that. We got more haters than congratulators. For
Exactly.
some reason, when a brother or sister is doing well, we hate to give them props. And we become the same people that we say are bad on our earth, that on our surroundings, that are just bad people. We do the same thing.
It's just, man, exactly. I just feel like, there's a lot to what has been done, and we should commend this family. You should commend Lavar, commend his sons because they beat the curve. They beat everything that everyone said was not supposed to happen. And so it makes it real hard for, people to come with facts
Mm-hmm.
and bag up all their hate because, it's just, to me, I compare it a lot to this political climate. It's the same thing. You can see what's in front of you and act like it doesn't exist, but it does. It's the truth. It's right in front of you. Even though you don't want to believe it, it's the truth. It's right in front of you. LaVar said his boys were going to be in the NBA. It's the truth. They're in the NBA. So we can keep saying whatever we want, but they're there. He got one that went 2, one that went 3, something that hasn't been done before. They're there. Look at how he stumped Stephen A. Ramona Shelburne, all these guys, ESPN, all Fox. They all got stumped. because they were all on that same bandwagon of not possible, never going to happen. You got NBA players like Steven Jackson and all them hating, Matt Barnes, all that. Oh, he never did. He just messed up his kid's life. Where are your sons incomparable to his? Like LaVar said, mine are millionaires. Next.
Yeah, man. The sons are winning. That's why I said Jello's winning, even if he didn't make, quote unquote, even if somehow he didn't make the NBA, he's still winning.
With Dwayne Casey
So,
saying he's an excellent
yeah.
player, I mean, that to me already confirmed it. Like he got a coach that he don't give them compliments out to everybody very easy. And for him to say that about him, he could have easily said he's all right, he's working, and stuff like that. He could have gave your standard stuff, but that sounds to me like we got a gym and we don't want nobody to know it. That's exactly what that sounded like to me.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, man. When a coach gives you a compliment, you can't take that away.
Nope.
You just can't do it.
Mm-mm. I've heard people say about that LaMelo, about his coaches, what his coach is not like. I mean, what coach has he had? I mean, the real coach he had in Australia and the real coach now, love him. I mean, that's a fact, right? I mean, so everyone's like, well, he wasn't good in Lithuania. Who would be good in Lithuania? Did you see that team? Did you see it? What player would be good? Put Kawhi Leonard in Lithuania. That coach will hate him too.
Yeah,
It didn't matter.
shine, brother. For any shine to use Coach Seskis as a stamp of approval on LaMelo and Jello is idiotic. This happened 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
if we're not going to use the most relevant and more successful coach, the NBL coach is more successful. Jermaine Jackson is more successful. They don't want to use those examples, but they want to use Coach Seskis of all people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's their only one. That's the only one. That's the only argument you have. That's what's so funny. But I think the bigger thing and a lot of people don't like, and a lot of NBA players don't like to hear, is that LaVar coached his sons from day one. He never sent them to AAU camps. He never sent them to some high-end program and paid a lot of money for them to be trained from somebody else or to any of these NBA camps or anything like that. That was all from scratch, man. That's all homemade. That's his backyard hills. He ain't lying. And that's what really I think makes people irritated, because he didn't do the standard, spend thousands of dollars on your kid in AAU. I know. I did that. You know what I mean? I did that and watched him do the complete opposite and win every tournament. So, it's just, that's what it is. A lot of people want to make up excuses. Like I said, the facts are in front of you. You can, the research, if you know and do the research and really follow these kids from, their AAU all the way up, there's a lot. It's really hard to argue against them. And I'm not one to give compliments to bullshit. I don't like to feed into that. I just don't. I don't really, to me, all the stuff that LaVar says, I can go to any AAU game and sit in the stands, and there's 30 or to 100 dads that are all identical to him, if not more adamant, and their kids don't have half the talent that his does. So, this is not abnormal. This is just a confident dad. I mean, I don't understand. I think, like you always said, it's that ruling mentality, and people don't understand that because it's intimidating to people who can't accept it.
Exactly. It's that ruling class mentality. We all got to have it to be the best versions of ourselves, to be better husbands, to be better workers, to be better people, to serve the Most High the best way possible. And this is the reason why this is not a brag on myself. I'm just saying how I operate. I root for everyone to succeed. There's a lot of brothers who follow my channel when they tell me, hey, I got a podcast, I got a YouTube channel that I'm starting up. What do? I shout them out. I tag everyone that follows my work into their stuff so they can get some views and hits. If the world was like that, if YouTube was like that, it would be a better place. But due to selfishness and wanting to be seen and doing things for clout, not everybody's like that. and
And
it's really
that's true, DJ, because you're the only one that I've seen. I've only seen maybe a couple people, and they're associated with you that have done that. That have actually propped somebody else's, YouTube up and tried to, help a brother out and pass it on. I mean, to me, it takes effort from all of y'all to keep this going and keep the right message going out there. And I think right now we need as much positivity as we can, especially in the black community. We got a lot of things. Like my dad always used to tell me, as a black man, you're on number one on the endangered species list, and you always will be. And my dad is before he died, rest in peace. I grew up with federal officers. I grew up in a household of federal officers. So it just, to me, to hear, a lot of things that Lavar says and does about propping his sons up. I'll be honest with you, I did the same thing. I mean, I never would tell my kid that somebody else could beat him. I never told him that if you wanted to be, a football player, you want to be the best, you're going to be the best. You are the best. You have to put that in your sons. And I don't think enough black sons have that in them. They should be told you are better than that. You're not just a basketball statistics or a baller, but you can actually be the smartest kid in the class. I told my kid all the time, you are the smartest kid in the class. Regardless if you have a bad test or not, you're still the smartest kid in the class. That mentality got him straight A's.
mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything. I didn't whoop him. I didn't tell him you better do this or take stuff away. I never put him on punch. I didn't have to. I just communicated to him that he was the best. And that it goes a long way with doing that. And I encourage people to
Absolutely.
do that.
My brother, I gotta ask you this question. Um, why is it that society frowns upon masculinity, especially black men with high levels of masculinity and confidence? Uh, Growing up, I've seen a lot of brothers who their fathers were just like LaVar. I've always seen this around my life, but it's a surprise the most. I guess they haven't had a father figure around, or they had a horrible mother who emasculated them and got them hating themselves. I don't know what it is, but the anti-masculinity is the reason why they've been hating on LaVar and his kids, and it's really pathetic. It tells you how the world is soft. They hate manhood, they hate fathers, and they get mad at us for appreciating fathers. It's the right thing to do consciously.
I think a lot of it, I don't want to get too crazy in history, but I'm one of those, but I think it boils back to kind of how we got here, and what's been bred into us and bred out of us. And that family, that togetherness has been bred out of us. And that's something that, over the years we've learned to survive on our own, but not as a unit, not as a community. We've learned to make it on our own and not rely on your brother because your brother is not going to be there. Well, the narrative one day has to change, regardless of, what political situation it is, or it has to change within us, to say, like you are, and people like yourself who are, give brothers a chance to talk and speak about it from a positive side, not just because everything we want to do is we always want to rip down about, what we don't have, what we don't do, what we can't do. But what do we do? That's what I ask. What does a black man do? Why is it, that we can't sit here and say, I wish my brother the best and actually believe that? Do I believe that, or do I really wish that I had what he had? Do I wish I was doing better than him? Do I wonder how he got there? No, I just want what he has. So, that mentality has to change within us. I think we have to figure out that we can achieve and do the same things, but we have to have support. And the sisters out there, they're doing the best they can with the odds that they've been stacked against. They've been told that, we're not going to be there. We're going to be missing. They're going to have to do it all on their own. In a lot of cases, they have. And so what we have is a society where that's been the problem. When you got, a larger population of us in prison than there is out down there. There's a lot of that has to do with, being in the home, being in the house, and being able to, command your castle. is what I say. And that doesn't come by, just throwing them verbiage. I call them verbal judos. You actually got to go and produce to have the family believe you are that. You got to lead by example. And I think, as men, we don't have to do extraordinary and jump through hoops. Go, I need to go do all this and extra stuff. Just be an example. Just be there. Show up, call, talk to them instead of, everything's got to be a whooping and we got to beat them. We got to show them how hard we are. No, we don't. Maybe we just hug them and talk to them a little bit, get in there and find out what's really going on. What's really the problem with each other. And I think that communication would help us get past a lot of these things that we're up against. Because if we don't fight and believe in ourselves, there ain't nobody out here that's going to do it for us, brother. Nobody.
Exactly, man. This is one of the real conversations that I like to have with everybody. I see everybody at the chat right now. Let me read something real quick. SGW says, look at Father's Day. More times is overlooked. So true, my brother. AW says, as long as ESPN has that ban on Lavar and not reach out to apologize, I wouldn't do any interviews with them as if it was Melo's or Jello, or if it was being petty. So true, man. If I was Lavar, I'm not giving ESPN ish. They're not getting a single interview. They're not getting a sound bite. They try to disrespect his whole family. And now, since the Ball brothers are making news and making hayway, they all want to be in the camera now. But yeah, I would have been petty to the mug. I'm like, if you're not Fox Sports One or anybody independent, I'm not interviewing. Because I get on Fox Sports One as well, but at least Shannon Sharp and Skip, even though they disagree, they kind of work with him. They don't try to damage his reputation. Sometimes it's on script, but it's not like too bad where, it's just a disagreement. People could understand a disagreement, but what ESPN try to do, they try to stick to the anti-black man narrative, and it backfired.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're broke right now, and that's why unfortunately they had to cut so many people. They cut like 500 employees. They're
Right.
unemployed now. I'm not trying to say it's karma because I want them to have a job. I want everybody to have a job, but it tells you what ESPN did everything wrong.
Right.
It missed the bag.
Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe that what you have though is, I mean, you look at the Stephen A's and the Whitlocks and people like that. I mean, these brothers get paid to go out there and be controversial and, act like they are, and create that kind of a environment. If sports has nothing going on, they're there to create it, so that there is a buzz, there's something to talk about. Do they need Lavar? Like I said before, and I've posted this many times, ESPN needs Lavar more than Lavar needs ESPN. And that's facts. And Lavar will do that interview because Lavar owns a brand. Lavar is a marketing genius. Regardless of what people say about the quality and all that stuff, you still bought it, you follow it, you watch his Facebook stuff. So guess what? He did it. And all the hate, and every time there's some kid that's getting ready to go in the NBA, he goes and he did the circle. We saw him. He just did the tour. All the interviews, they had him on, Skip, all of them had him on. They all were, just trying to get him to say something. But everything that he said crazy came true. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to do now. They're scared to have him because if he says something else, it will happen. Now that he's talking about all the kids, they could play together. Well, now you're starting to see, well, there's a possibility. It is. There's a way for it to happen where you could get all three brothers on one team. There is a possibility that could happen in a couple different ways. It could be happen. It could be done.
Well, I gotta say this. I'm gonna say two things. First, there is a way that it can happen. Lonzo will be a free agent in 2021. But things have to fall in place. Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier are solid players. You know, they could get you a bucket. I don't know what Charlotte's going to do with them. Devontae Graham shoots 40+%. So, you know, he's a marksman. It's one of those guards had to be gone for that to happen. You get what I mean?
Yeah. DJ, can I address something real quick?
Yeah.
Because I see this question. I saw your question here. I think it's from Mr. Rick Dawson here, regarding Lonzo and his playmaking. Then, you know, what does Jello bring to the table on nights when his shot is off? And I just want to ask a question to everybody. Like, we saw the finals, and there was a couple nights where Anthony Davis was off. There's a couple nights where there's a lot of NBA players are going to have nights where their shot's not falling. Well, you know, you can still, you know, play defense. You can still pass. Now, Jello, just because he's out there doesn't mean all he does is shoot. He does have the capability to play defense, even though, you know, everyone says he couldn't. Well, he had a broken ankle down there that he was playing on, and through all his leagues that he didn't even take care of. Well, now he has that fixed. He's healthy. He's in better shape. There's a lot of players out there that don't even have the close to the defensive grit that even he does. You know, when he went to Europe or when he was playing all those foreign teams, he didn't back down. He didn't give up anything. You know, they had a hard time playing against him. He was very good on defense. He's very good on outlet, shutting down on the press. He's there. He's the first one on the press. That takes a lot out of you. And I watched him press his whole life. You know, so I think there's a lot of things that people are missing about him that, you know, he can do. And when you have a shooter, even if he's having a bad shooting game, people are still going to concentrate on him because he's a shooter. Clay might have a bad shooting night, but you're not going to leave him wide open. So he's still going to draw attention, you know, and Jello has a more of a post-up game. You know, he can get to the paint. He can make it happen around the basket. So you still got to stop that. And that is a higher percentage shot. So I think, you know, there is things that he will be able to do, even though his shot's not off. I wouldn't say, but I just think that we got to stop critiquing the balls like they're on another plateau when we don't give that same critique to even half the NBA players out there. Giannis' shot wasn't falling. What happened to him in the playoffs? You know, there's a lot of players that their shot doesn't work and they still got to do other stuff. And even these are supposed to be the best players in the world. And they still couldn't take their team to victory. So I'm not going to hold this kid to any other, you know, any higher plateau than anybody else. I think as a rookie, he comes in, he plays his best. But if he comes in shooting a high rate, a high tick at 3-point percentage, over 40% or something like that, is his defense really going to be a factor if he gets on a team or not? Not to me.
We got True the King in the building. This brother holds his own, man. He be on FIL Sports Debate, keeping it real. Shout out to True the King. What you think about this discussion, my brother?
Where y'all left over exactly? How LaMelo?
I was just talking about this Jello question here from one of the subs that. Yeah. And so I just see that a lot about Jello.
I mean, Jello brings the scoring to the table. I mean, he brings scoring. I mean,
but he's saying when his shot's off, when his shot is off, you know, what does he bring?
I mean, we gotta find. I mean, we're gonna find out. You know what I mean? Because we never really seen. The thing is with Jello, we never seen him like individually as much as when we seen Lonzo and LaMelo develop.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the injuries and stuff he had over the couple years and the things, the setbacks he had, we seen Lonzo in UCLA and all that stuff, and then developing the NBA little bit by little bit, and then we seen LaMelo playing overseas, he being by himself. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be like the difference. That's a question. That's a good question, honestly. But I mean, he looked like he's more fit. He's more, you know what I mean? He's faster. So, and he's training with his brothers. So it's like, I know he's a decent passer he's an underrated passer for his position. So, I mean, I don't know.
I gotta say this, my brother, so I can answer Rick Dawson's question. Just my point of view. For Jello, True the King, you're right on one thing. since he hasn't played in 2 years, he's been dealing with an ankle situation. Thank God he got it right. There's still some more to be seen from Liangelo. Now we all believe in him. Just he has a shot and he's strong and he has good wingspan and good height. But we got to see it in the game. We got to see it in preseason. And until that happens, then I'll probably have more to say. But it's one of those. Jello's one of those players I call incomplete. You got to see more. When a player hasn't played for a while, you got to see more of a basketball resume.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel. Cause like we haven't really seen Jello like by his something. We seen Jello really with like yeah he played with LaMelo and Lithuania, whatever case may be in the JBA. But like after that though, we ain't really even seen him because he dealt with it for 2 years. Like so it's like we don't know. Cause you can say, cause like Lonzo, you can say, well, Lonzo don't, because the whole thing is like, oh, we seen Lonzo play good without his brothers and LaMelo. You know what I mean? They can hold their own by themselves. We seen that they able to hold it by themselves. Now the question is, can Liangelo can do that? You know what I mean?
What you think, Shanker?
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys on that too. I think that one thing I like about them going in the NBA is they finally get to have players around them that have the talent. No matter what team they are, and these are all NBA players. So whether he's a big factor in passing, shooting, defending, there's still there's a lot more talent around them that I think will help bring out different aspects of their game that we haven't been able to see because they haven't played with anybody at their caliber to me, not at that level. Even in Australia, when LaMelo played there, they were great and good, but they're not NBA players. These are NBA players, and so there's a lot more talent. Just watching their practices, you can see, how fast and the tick is a lot faster that they're into. So I look forward to seeing what it brings out of them. I think the NBA environment could bring out a lot better player than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially when you on a team. I mean, that's
Yeah,
organically. I think.
to the game. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, yeah. Like I
Oh,
said,
okay.
organically. You know what I mean? Like I think that's like I mean, when you play with talent, like when you play with talent, it's gonna force you kind of get you kind of forced to get better or to digress. You know what I mean? Once you play at the highest level and you keep going up and up and up, I mean, it's only natural you to get better or to stay stagnant.
Yep.
Yeah, what I want to see from Jello, I hope he gets enough preseason minutes. I believe the first two games is going to be the dress rehearsal for the starters and second team. So you barely will see him play on that. But the last two preseason games, I hope to see adequate minutes from Jello. And all Jello has to do to show off, this is my opinion. He has to get, like you said, Shanker, he has to be in that PJ Tucker mode. He has to dive for loose balls. He's got to be scrappy like nobody's business. The scrappiest player has always had an advantage to making an NBA roster.
Right.
True the King knows this because FYL Sports Debate Vermont has been stating that for a while now. You may not be the most talented, but if you are that pit bull in practice and on that court, you will get that last roster spot.
Yep. Look at Josh Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Caruso, Beverly. It's a lot of names. I mean, when you got that grit and you just, you know what I mean, you leave it all on the floor. I mean, hey, that's how people. You know what I mean, you get your opportunities.
Yeah, right on, man. It's a dog's league, man. I mean, this is not a league for pansies. This is not a league for someone holding your hand when things are being tough. You have to, as a player, you have to find a way to dig deep inside your soul and take it. You got to take it from teammates, from anybody who knows the team game. But when you're on it, trying to get a spot, in the NBA, you're trying to make a living, you're trying to make a name. You have to be in attack mode, no matter what.
Yeah, you got to. Like even like you used to be, mind you, a lot of these NBA players. I mean, at one point in time, they were superstar players. At one point in time, in the previous levels, and you have to adjust. You know what I mean? Like you may
Right.
not be the same guy you was in high school or even in college. You gotta adapt to
Mm-hmm.
the game. You know what I mean? You gotta always reinvent yourself. When like you come from AAU, high school, to overseas, wherever, you gotta reinvent yourself. Can't do necessarily the same thing. You know what I mean? What you were doing like in the previous level.
Word
I
up,
mean,
man. I remember on Ball in the Family, I think this was last season. Jello was talking about the reality of like, people are selfish and he has to realize that he has to change his game up. I think that's when he realized that no one's going to hold his hand to get to the NBA. And that's why you see him a lot better. You see him faster. Just a couple of clips, but it's pretty obvious that he looks a lot better than what he was 2 years ago. It's not even close.
yeah. I mean, him even getting that opportunity shows you. I mean, he has the potential. So I mean, we just gotta wait and see.
I
I
tell
got a
you this
question, True the
though.
King. Do you think that Dwayne Casey? Uh huh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something, True the King. Dwayne Casey told the media that Jello's an excellent player and he's a great kid to be around. You think that's, tongue in cheek kind of speaking, or you think he really means that?
I mean, I think he really means that because they brought him. I mean, like I said, they brought him in for a reason, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
maybe if he don't make, like he probably on a G League team at the worst case scenario and have like maybe like a 2-way contract. I mean, like they need shooters. I mean, he's what they need. The team needs. That's what Jello does. That's what his specialty does. So it's like, if he working hard, listen. Jello is a hard worker. I mean, the fact that how he grinded to the league is, he showed he's a hard worker. So I'm not surprised. Like it shows you. I mean, I'm not surprised some like Dwayne Casey saying something like that because Jello is a hard worker. I mean, people say anything they want about the Ball family and all that stuff, but I mean, how he got to the league in this point and all the criticism he was getting. He's a fighter, man. So
Word up. This is what GW said. Does the fact that Jello is soft spoken create a perception not in line with his game? In my opinion, that could be true, but I just think that people hate on the Ball family just to find an excuse to hate on them. I don't think it's a false perception. They're making any excuse. LaMelo has been balling out in training camp this whole time. They had one low light of him missing a layup, which he barely does in the game, and they're critiquing and saying he's trash and all this stuff. But he's been killing in practice. Coach James Borrego of the Hornets has said that he's their best playmaker and passer, and he's a rookie. But they pick one little highlight and overreact. Shanker, what do you think about that comment of SGW?
Yeah, I think that, he is a soft-spoken guy, but at the same time, Jello is actually the most thug out of all of them. I'll be honest with you, man. If you watch that fight in Lithuania when LaMelo had to give that dude a 2-piece, Jello came in like a trash can and just dumpstered the whole thing. Like it's the dude is not. He's the enforcer of the three brothers. So I don't believe he's going to be soft in the NBA. I don't believe he's going to have a problem, meeting the grit of the NBA. That's something that I don't see, and their mentality isn't built that way. That's something that they just don't have that fear of, like everybody else might be a little bit more intimidated by playing against LeBron or playing like Lonzo was probably the softer of the three in that sense, in my eyes. And that's because I think Lonzo is a little bit more glued to he was more by his mama's side than, on LaVar. But you got to understand, Jello been underneath LaVar, his uncles from more than the other two. And I think, Jello's got a lot more grit than we see. He just don't, he's just not loud about it, He don't have to be, but I think he got enough grit and toughness to deal with, you know, all of the three. Because out of all the three, though, I just think that he's the most, you know, the one that I don't know. I don't think that he's gonna get pushed over that easy. Just
He
people
has
think.
size already, though. He has
He
some
got
size
he's
already.
strong, man. That's the thing about people don't know. That dude is strong as hell. he definitely could
Yeah.
play football right
Like
now.
he was posting
You
up,
know?
like people were like he posting up. Like I was impressed with him in high school how he was
Yep.
posting up dudes up and stuff like that. And that's like ain't a lot of people like that's impressive. Talking about he know how to use his size advantage and his
Hmm.
strength when needed to. So it's like you know, like I said, LaMelo and Lonzo, they had to work on gaining strength and muscle and all of that.
Right.
Liangelo came in the league. He's already prepared for it. Like he's already. I mean, you don't got to worry about that. Like the
Yeah.
physicals, whatever.
Yeah. What I mean by most thug, I don't mean like, you know, he's gangster and all that. I'm just saying, you know, out of those three brothers, you know, he's probably the one that has the most grit to him. So I would say that, you know, that I still say he got to get that PJ Tucker though. You know, like I
Hmm.
he got to come in, and I said just like you said, DJ. I just think he has to come in and make it known that I'm more than just you know, I'm not to be pushed around. I think once they know that about him, he'll get his respect, you know. But if he comes in and lays down, which I just don't see happening, then you know he'll be another guy that everyone can say, look, you didn't make it, you know. But I just feel like they got too much mental strength to lay down like that. You know, I just
Right.
don't see them. You know, they're not weak minded. You can tell when somebody weak minded, they soft. I mean, to me, it's like all this stuff between, you know, like Kyrie and LeBron and all that stuff. That to me, that's kind of weak minded when you over there doing some pansy stuff. You know, we don't need to be that pansy shit. You know what I mean? Like these dudes they don't even talk that pansy stuff. They don't act like that. They don't have that softness in them where they, you know, they let little things bother them. You can't get under their skin mentally like that. They tougher than that. That says a lot. You know, when you come in the NBA, you know they ain't gonna have no freebies. They gonna have targets on their back. So I think they're kind of ready for it. You know,
Yeah,
like
especially
LeVar.
LaMelo. Yeah, LaMelo, like he's the youngest one, so he's seen like the mistakes from wherever in he's seen like okay the mistakes and stuff on he's prepared he's like prepared like
Right.
even Jello he's seen okay him being the outsider and him not getting that much he getting of course he getting attention because he's a ball but he's not getting as much attention as Lonzo and LaMelo. He also see things too like you know what okay this is how I'm prepared for this especially seeing Lonzo how he got introduced in the league because
Yeah.
Lonzo had a lot of he's still getting criticized even though they saying he's balling out in practice and all that. I mean,
And
like you know what
they,
I mean?
And they kind of watched their brother get punked a little bit. You know, this first year, I mean, Lonzo got punked by a lot of the, you know, the Patrick Beverleys and, you know, even Jamal Murray, you know, those dudes like dribbling around them and stuff like that. Well, your brothers
Right.
watch that, you know, and he's the enforcer watching his older brother take it. And Lonzo's used to having Jello there, you know,
Right.
so I do think that they're going to have a little bit of a chip too. I think both LaMelo and Jello both got something to prove,
Yeah.
you know, to the NBA because of that. You know, that they know their brother
Yeah.
took a lot of heat for them. You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely.
David
Yeah.
Diaz says, would he be surprised if Jello didn't get in there in the first preseason game? This is what I think. Jello, it just depends on what the coaches are trying to do. Are they trying to get their starters and second team ready, or are they trying to just let everybody play? There's a good chance that he may not um, play the first preseason game. I'll be disappointed. I want to see him play something. I don't care if it's 2 minutes.
me too. That's what I fear, but I don't disagree with that. I kind of feel like that's really what's gonna happen, you know. I hope not. I'm hoping not, but I feel like that's what we got when he went to OKC with the blue, you know, we sat there and waited and didn't happen. So I think that, you know, we could prepare I think it's better to not set your expectations too high right now. We don't know.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't. I'm at a point, man. You're desperate to see a player play when you say, man, I don't care if it's freaking 2 minutes.
Right.
That 2 minutes is gonna have. Hey, I'll tell you what. This is how YouTube works. Liangelo plays 2 minutes in a preseason game. Someone posts it. That's gonna get like 100K views or more.
Right.
That's
Easily.
how much clout he has.
It'll be on ESPN if he gets 2 minutes. You know, they'll have coverage. All of them will. That'll be the talk of the night. If as soon as he hits the
Melo
court,
gonna have a lot of like, Melo
Oh
gonna
boy.
he's gonna be
oh
his
yeah,
star,
Lamelo's
man.
gonna shut the whole thing. Gonna get shut down the minute he hits the court. It's over. They've been waiting on this forever. You know.
Like you said, what is Joe Quant catch a lot of attention from his mid range floater this year? Yeah, Melo can score. Like Melo made me not efficient, but he can probably get better on that. But he can score also. I mean, he's a better scorer than Lonzo. That's the thing with Melo kind of like he molded his game off Alonzo and Jello to a degree. So he's like a hybrid of both of the brothers in a sense.
And True to King, you've
So
seen Melo play before. Please tell the viewers that LaMelo is not gonna let these players punk him. I don't know why they think he's some
he's not
soft
like
life.
you see him like he slap like you can look at his attitude like like he like he's not no like he's not soft dude, man. Like he's been in altercation, like he's been in hostile environments in high school, overseas, and like he's not like he's a competitor. He's a fierce like he like it's like you think he slapped the dude in Lithuania. Like we seen that happen. Like I don't condone that, but it's like he's not like you can try when you want to. I mean, but you know what I mean. Michael Jordan don't like him for no reason. You know what I mean? He excited like I have never seen Michael Jordan excited to draft a player in my life. To tell you the truth,
Real talk.
that's for a reason. How many people what player that that Charlotte drafted that Michael Jordan had been this excited about or talked about like LaMelo? Like,
Zero.
come on, man.
And brother,
And that's not
I hope people don't
that
think
yeah.
Kimba. I've never seen people this happy.
They was happy about Kim, but it wasn't talking like listen with LaMelo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's Jordan. Listen, man, LaMelo, like they know what they're doing, man. Listen, LaMelo, like, and the thing is, they got Gordon Hayward there, but like Jordan know what they're doing, man. Like you said, they may make the playoffs this year. We were talking about that last night on F1 Sports. They may make the playoffs. Like they're gonna be a competitive. Like even if they don't make the play, they're gonna be a competitive team. They're not gonna be a team like you play you ain't just take a day off whatever. You gotta play them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they
Yep.
got dogs in that. They got dogs in that Chargers team, man. So
Hey DJ,
What's up, my
I,
brother?
I gotta ask you, what do you think about this though? I mean, I saw that interview with Lonzo yesterday, and I'm still concerned, man. Like I got this big concern that we might not see Lonzo the first week of this basketball season.
Oh, you talk about his throat?
I'm feeling like I'm hoping. I don't even want to put it out there in the universe, man. Like I'm hoping that this COVID is not flying in his. But when I saw he got the throat hurt and he's feeling kind of sick, I've been, there've been a lot of parties with the LaMelo signing, and then traveling back and forth. I'm like, damn, man, it would have to happen to Lonzo at the beginning. This will be devastating if he can't play starting in this season. I mean, it's just enough years where we've had him missing games at the beginning of the season. What do you think about that?
Well, I think everyone needs to not worry about it because they get COVID tests every day, and Truly King knows that. So that's why I wasn't worried. I just think he got strep throat. Just from he's talking about sore throat. He doesn't have a headache or anything, and he doesn't have lack of taste. That sounds like strep throat to me. So
Yeah.
he needs some antibiotic, call it a day, get some bed rest. He'll be ready.
Good.
Alonzo, but I think of Alonzo, he did a lot of talking. Alonzo, so that's the thing with him. he made a lot of statements, and he had it back. You gotta
Exactly.
back it up. You gotta
Exactly.
back it up. He said, "Chief,
Triple double every
remember
night.
they after he played bad in the bubble, he was saying talk about me. He said Bleach Report talk about me like this next year, and then he said he's gonna be a triple. He said he's gonna be a triple threat. He's
Yes,
gonna be like a.
man.
I mean, I respect. Listen, man, I like the confidence, but you gotta back it now. You gotta back it up now. I like the confidence. I like that with Lonzo because now that's what we want him to be aggressive and have the confidence. You know what I
Right.
mean? In your game. But now you gotta back it up now.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, man, I don't want to, I just want him to be healthy, man. Just be healthy,
Yeah.
come out, play this beginning of the season, let everybody know that, you coming for real this year. No excuses. Let's not start any of that right now. Keep that,
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
you
But I
know.
mean they said in practice he being way more aggressive. So that's if he's doing that, then he should be fine.
Right
Yeah.
on. And if anyone this year, no one needs to give Lonzo any excuses. If he's not attacking the basket, being assertive and creating like aggressively, giving what the defense is giving him back,
Hmm.
then we have to criticize him. I made a video criticizing Lonzo Ball. Some of the same people who support my channel were so mad at me because I was honest. I said, Lonzo, do you want to get paid?
Right.
You can't just allow your teammates, oh, I'm gonna trust him, I'm gonna pass him. This dude, this is what ticked me off. And True to King, you probably seen this low light. He went up to the basket. He's right there. He passes it right out to a wing.
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't know.
irate. I was about to lose my mind.
Yeah, that's why like he got to attack the basket. That's why his free throw. People think he's not a good free throw shooter, but it makes even his free throw percentage look even worse because he does attack the basket. When you only go to a free throw line less than once a game, and you a bad free throw shooter, it gonna look crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like he got to attack the basketball. There's no excuse. You 6'6", 6'7", a point guard. You got a size advantage on majority of point guards in the league. So use that size advantage and attack the basket. You know what I mean?
I think that's
Like,
what DJ. That's something that you had said in the past. Like I think that's why I wanted to see this off season. Like I really want. I'm glad he's been working all off season. He finally got a real off season. Those are the kind of mechanics you can work on and fix in the off season when he hasn't had one because he's been injured. What pisses me off the most is when I see him start the season out and he's still doing those type of things when you just released the album. Like I don't want to see you out in the studio when you missing layups, when you won't take an open dunk. I want to see you working on some basic fundamentals and that kind of stuff, and then let that all the other stuff come along with it. But that's my only argument to any of the ball stuff. As long as they can let the fun stuff will be there. You'll have a chance to go model clothes and shoes and cars, but I feel like this generation puts the horse before the carriage. I mean, the carriage before the horse. They're not, putting in. Go out there and earn your stripes on the court. Put it down so that your rep is bagged up by your game, which is your main goal, right? Your main focus.
right.
So with this offseason, seeing that he put more time focused on that and less studio time and all that stuff. I know he did do some stuff with the records early on, but still, it seemed like he got a chance to really focus on, the basketball career more. And then I think moving the clutch was the best thing he could have ever did. Honestly, I think it saved his career. To be
Brother,
honest,
he should have signed with Clutch his
day
rookie
one,
year.
day one.
Man, he probably still would have been a Laker.
Yep.
If he was with Clutch, he would have still been a Laker. But I gotta answer this. Joaquin says, you think LaMelo will have aggressiveness problems like Zoe, since his level of passing is on a high level and talent around the NBA caliber. Um, I don't have to worry about aggression or lack of aggression with LaMelo. I just think his mindset is from a different cloth. This kid is all about basketball. He don't have any extracurricular activities going on. He talks a bunch of jack on the court. He's just a dog on the court, and I just don't see him being punked by anybody. This is not his mental makeup. Here's the thing: LaMelo Ball was such a dog mentally that Lavar had to prep him on not getting feisty with opponents,
Yep.
saying that it would be bad for brand's reputation. This is how much of
Mhm.
a dog LaMelo is. But since he's light skinned and he has that look of innocence, they take him for granted. But I'm telling you, if you're an NBA team, if you're underestimating LaMelo, that's your problem. You're going to pay for it. What you think, True the King?
Yeah, you right on the head. Like, listen, man, that man is not no he. I ain't never seen nobody punk Lamelo. I've never seen it in high school, overseas, and I ain't never seen it. I mean, and he look at it when the environment in Charlotte, they got some dogs in Charlotte, man. They got some
Mm-hmm.
tough dudes. You got Scary Terry over there, Terry Rozier. You got some people. You got some got some
Miles,
people over there. Go ahead. We got polite. You got like they got Bismack over there. Like they got no. They ain't no. That's not a soft team.
Nope.
So PJ Washington. So that's going to be people can underestimate. And that's like people going to underestimate their team. Like Lamelo and that whole that they want to. Cause I guarantee you that they're not going to let them out. Even if somebody try to poke Lamelo, that team ain't going to let that happen.
oh no.
Hey, that's not going to let that happen.
It's
That's the
like
thing
it's
about
like
Charlotte. Like,
it's like Lamelo is the Ruckus Park of it's like Lonzo you would take to college and put him in the Duke, UCLA in that environment. LaMelo, you get him right out the blacktop. His game, his swagger is more to the street than it is to anything else. That's why it's hard for these structured systems to say, oh, well, he's gonna be this and that. Like his game's gonna adapt to the team he's playing. If they give him the lane, he's gonna take it. If they don't, he's gonna shoot on you. Like you're gonna see a lot more shooting coming out of him, a lot more, creating of scoring for himself along with his players. Lonzo, does great at creating for everyone else, doesn't really create for himself. But also, Lonzo hasn't played with anybody that's created for him either. If you think about it, his teammates haven't really passed him. Did you ever see Kuzma setting him up? Nobody set Lonzo up for alley oop. I watched Drew Holiday pass up wide open when Lonzo was wide open. He would pass on him. Like so, that's too that has to do with confidence in him. I know that a lot of the players didn't have a lot of confidence in his shot making and stuff like that. But still, you gotta play. You gotta get a chance, right? To
right.
to go out there and try. But I think a lot of that has to do with that. I think LaMelo ain't gonna have that problem. His teammates are gonna have a problem with his selection and him giving the ball. You could tell already just by looking at practice. He's gelling.
Yeah, like they got Lamelo. He ain't gonna have a problem. Like I said, I
Mm.
got Lamelo winning Rookie of the Year. So I mean, I don't. What is it? Yeah, I got him winning Rookie of the Year. So it's like I don't know what's gonna. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be close or not. I mean, we all gonna see. But I mean, other people may get it. I can see like a
Ball can still get
Wiseman.
in that.
Yeah. He said he
Mm.
want to be. He might. I think. I just seen a comment. He said he wants Rookie of the Year. So that's
Yeah,
gonna be hard for him because he's gonna come off the bench. But I mean, he could. He could get it. Though. But it'd be hard though. Him come off the bench playing behind Jokic.
mm-hmm.
Um, Wiseman could get. I can see Wiseman getting it if he could be like a dope machine, get a lot of blocks.
I haven't heard anything about him.
I
Well,
think he got
yeah,
they got
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, he got
Uh-huh.
Mm.
COVID. Him and Draymond Green.
Wow.
I think they should be back though soon. I
Mm-hmm.
think they be back again start of the season. But it's gonna be a exciting year next year though. Of all the balls to get like all the balls on like that's what other thing that's another thing that's motivating. I think Lonzo too though, seeing his brothers in the league now. I think that's motivating him also as a competitor because he don't want to be the worst ball brother. I don't think none of them wants to be the worst ball brother. You know what I mean? So that's also back in their mind too of succeeding. Like Lonzo, like no, Lamone, not no, I'm the best. No, I'm the best one. You know what I mean? They competitors, man. So
Mm.
they're gonna be it ain't like not like it's no jealousy type of thing, but it's like listen, I'm the best. Like I'm the you know what I mean? So that's gonna be an interesting factor too.
Brother Shooter King, I made a video the other day saying that I truly believe LaMelo is the best thing that happened to Lonzo. Now, mentally, I think he's gonna come out swinging because you can't have your little brother put on a show. You know he's gonna do his thing, and
Yeah,
LaMelo has pieces around him. He has
right.
shooters around him. He got dogs around him in Charlotte. You got a Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington. You can't tell me that's not a formidable roster. I don't know what their
And
record going to be, but
Bridges, and all them.
Bridges,
Like that's a last play.
Mac,
That's cool. Yeah, that's gonna be that could be a fun. That could be a fun team to watch. So it's like Lonzo is gonna motivate Lonzo. Lonzo can't. You can't sit there and have Lamelo first year burying your whole career. Like that's going. Lonzo gonna be hearing that, and
mhm.
Lonzo knows that. So yeah, it's cool though, man. Like it's like seeing three brothers in the NBA. Like it's three sets of trios brothers in the NBA, which I feel that's awesome. Like this, I just realizing that onto the Kupos and the holidays.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that.
So
all they got in common, my brother, they have fathers.
yep,
Hmm.
and that's dope though, man.
The brother Sweatbox in the building, he says the only teammate setting Zoe up is Zion. Facts. Teammates not setting up Zoe up in cuts, open looks, denies, two easy baskets a game,
That's
impacts
because of preseason. I think that
confidence.
was coaching last. That was coaching really last year though. I ain't gonna sit there and blame that on the players. That was just coaching on the play call. If you know,
Oh,
we look Stephen Gundy. Stephen Gundy said like he gonna have more opportunities to have some people create shots for Lonzo. Stan Van Gundy. He said
that
he gonna have opportunity. He gonna be open and shooting and able to hit shots.
that would make a big difference because I really don't think that there was anything designed to actually get him a shot. It was always what can Lonzo get to everybody else. But like they said, Zion is the only one that fed him. I mean, not even Bi. Bi don't feed Zoe like that. You know, Bi once he gets the ball in his hands, you know he's pretty much gonna go to the hole with it, or he's gonna shoot the ball. He's not a passer. You know, Josh Hart's not a passer. They like to drive. He likes to put his head down, go to the basket. Nothing wrong with that, but no one's ever set Lonzo up on like pop
Yeah,
and move or anything like that. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, hey, Lonzo, get the ball down court, go sit in the corner. That
yeah.
is
That
what I
was good.
don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that. And Lonzo,
yeah.
I hope he doesn't take his butt to the corner. I'd rather see the coaches yell at him because he wasn't in the corner. you know,
Right,
like don't do that. Don't sit in the
right.
corner again because that's it. If
Yeah,
you start
yeah.
that off with the first game, you sitting in the corner. I know now that you still have the same mentality.
I don't know
You
what
haven't changed.
Jeffries. Yeah, Jeffries was. I don't know what he was doing last year, man. Like his play calling though, man. The how they was playing, I didn't like what they were doing at all.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Like, so hopefully they can do it better next year. Because Brandon Ingram is a solid passer. He's underrated. Like, 'cause I remember he was on the Lakers. They would experiment him being like a point guard, a future playmaker on that team. So he can able to like get other people open too and create for others. And like Zion, Zion does. He's just gonna do anything to help the team win. You know what I mean? He don't care about he's he's just a dynamic player. So
Man,
yeah,
an in shape Zion. Oof,
Ooh, man.
that's a scary. That's a scary. That's a scary. If
man.
Lonzo reaches potential, and you got Brandon
Yeah.
Ingram and you got Zion Williamson,
Yep. A healthy Lonzo,
that's
in
a
shape
potential big three. That's a potential big three.
could be. If the coach believes in him, if he tries to pull that, I'm gonna let Bledsoe get majority of the minutes and Lonzo gets low usage minutes, then it'll be the same story.
Yeah, but I think Stan Van Gundy though he gonna utilize players. I mean, Stan Van Gundy's a veteran coach.
Hmm.
He not necessarily like the best coach, whatever, but he know how to develop young talent to a degree.
Facts, man. I gotta say this to everybody on the uh, channel, the chat. Make sure you subscribe to True the King. You hear this knowledge he's speaking. Give him some love, man. Subscribe to his channel, like all his. In this channel, we show all brothers love. If you have a YouTube channel, just let me know. We'll broadcast it. We'll shout you out. We show love over here.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Joy B says LaMelo has the advantage over other rookies due to the he's already played overseas. It built his confidence. He's able to play with anyone and against anyone. Yeah, he's battle tested. No
And
one
it was
talks
hand
about it.
checking. And it was hand checking.
Hmm.
They play zone. So like they play zone and hand checking in the NBL.
Oh yeah, they had one. I think it was Syracuse, this team in New Zealand. This one big man clothesline LaMelo, and I
Yeah,
thought he was hurt.
that
He got right back up. I said, "Man, this is a
it's
physical."
old school. It's old school rules now. Like it's old school rule. It's like early 2000s basketball in NBL. That's I mean it's so I mean he like that's what I'm saying. I remember they were trying to downplay. They were downplaying him.
Well, he had that big dude on his team. I mean, what's his name? That was with Golden State. I forgot his name. From
Uh,
Australia.
Andrew Bogut played
Yeah.
for the Kings.
I mean, you figured what the year before he was in the NBA, right? And then you had Brooks on the team too, and they both praised LaMelo. So I mean, you got NBA players that were in the league saying he was the real thing. So I don't know. To me, that the facts are the facts. Once again, people got to look what's in front of them.
Yeah, that's why I don't pay attention to shines and any haters that say LaMelo ain't this or that, because the other fellow NBA players that I've seen has always given LaMelo his props because they respect this game and they know he's one of those players. He's unconscious on the court. Like it's weird. He could go 5 for 15, right? And then at the end of that fourth quarter, he could just light it up.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that ability, and no one talks about it enough. But the Hornet fans and fans of his are going to see there's going to be a game where the team is down and he's just going to go ballistic.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Big Spell One. Lonzo doesn't have to carry the weight of the family anymore.
I agree.
It's taken care of now.
That's a lot too. I mean, you think about and this is something that bothered me is that as soon as Lonzo got in the NBA's contract, what does his girl do? Start tripping. And for a young guy, especially being that you was with your girl from high school all the way up, that's all you know. She pretty much been in his life for his whole, adolescence. So now you get to the NBA, you get this money, you get this fame, your girl gonna start tripping, start causing you problems. I think that was a big distraction too. A lot of the, stuff that had, fighting with her, then you got a baby on the way. Like that's a lot, man. That's a lot for anybody. And then you dealing with that, and then now you can see he finally got that kind of balanced out. I think that'll help his mental also, having that kind of stabilized, so he's not fighting on two ends of it.
Greg says LaMelo was ready to fight people overseas. He's a dog, man. I'm trying to tell him, but I'm going to keep quiet because I like surprises. I like when these ball brothers come out and surprise people. You're going to have True the King make a video about it, that I told you so video. He'll make that a told you so video because what I say? Logic over emotion. For fans who like
Exactly.
sports, who go on these YouTube channels, check out the YouTubers who are not emotional. You see, True the King could have easily made a Ball family diss, video, but he knew that would be clout chasing. So he'll say what he likes and what he dislikes, and that's why I got this brother on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Man, I can't believe the Clippers just paid Paul George $226 million for 5 years. That's crazy.
Oh, for real?
So 5 years, man, $226 million. You got more than AD.
That's crazy.
I'm glad. Congratulations. I'm glad they stuck. They stuck. You stuck now. You
I
didn't done it.
cannot stand Paul George. I respect Kawhi. I respect because Kawhi reminds me of myself at times. Y'all see me targeted on social media. But what away from social media, I'm pretty much an introvert. I keep to myself. I meditate. Chill, weed on the
Yeah,
side. I'm a chill person.
my fault. I'm back.
Yeah, we just
Yeah, I
we just
see.
heard the news
Yeah, I
about
see
Paul
that Paul
George.
George. Yeah, I just seen that, man.
What you think, brother?
I mean, listen. You can't get mad because the Clippers can't. You don't want to sit there and not lose. Get something and then lose it, and to be looking crazy for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, you gotta do. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Paul George, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you don't want him to leave for nothing. You gave up all that stuff for him. Got ride out with him.
He made out like a fat
Mm-hmm.
rat on that deal. After his performance in the playoffs,
Yeah.
gave him more
But
money.
the thing is, I can't get mad at it because he is a super talented player. Like you say, he is a top 10, potential top 5, could be a top 5 talent league. But if he gets his mental right, you know what I mean? I don't know if he can. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, what did ESPN just rank him? Ain't he 20th or something? Ain't he down low? He didn't make the top 5, did he?
Yeah, it's probably because of that performance. But I mean, we'll see if he bounce back though, man. I mean, I
It
see
don't
Kawhi
matter. He
Leonard.
got the bag, man. He got the bag. 226
Yeah.
mil, and you ain't even in the top 5. Like, whew.
Hey, man. It is. Hey.
We got somebody in the building, man. We got Joey B.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, look,
What's good?
first time with you guys on this live cast. I want to congratulate you guys because it's awesome, man. You guys are spitting. You guys are not biased or attacking people or anything like that. So I enjoy your content. Um,
Appreciate that.
on the Paul George, I'm I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm a fan of all the teams. I'm not I come back from the 80s, 90s era, where all was rough and everything else, and I have seen the evolution of the game. Paul George, after he made a comeback after the injury and everything else, do he deserve that type of money? In some aspect, yet, in some aspect, no. The reason why I say that is because he is in a caliber on a situation where you have Kawhi Leonard, you have on the West, you have a lot of talent. So it's not like when he was in the East, when he was with Indiana and stuff like that, where he was the main star. When now you are the second option on a team and you're getting that type of money, to me, you got to prove me that you could take me to the big show before I give you that type of money. It's not because of what you have done on OKC or anything like that. You got to show me. Take me to the big show, and then we could sit down. I could give you 25 million. It's unfair to players that win the championship like LeBron and AD, and that they got to settle for less money, and then this guy gets 225 million, and yet he doesn't pass the finals or makes it to the finals. So that's just my input about how much money some players should get. I believe that a player should prove himself before he gets that type of money. That's just old school way.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with a lot. I agree with to an extent, but at the same time, I mean, that's just the business of the game. And the
Yeah,
thing with
I
like
mean,
LeBron, yeah,
he
I feel
sits
you.
people on the.
Yeah,
He does bring a crowd in. Like I said, I'm a
right,
fan of all the players in the NBA because I think from the 12th man on the bench all the way to the first man, I think that it takes an amount of skills and talents to
right,
make it there. I,
right.
I don't take that away from him. He's super talented. Like I said, I give him mad props for coming back from the horrible injury on the Olympics. You know,
Yeah, but sometimes like he's in this Paul George in a situation where it's like the Clippers. Sometimes you have to overpay somebody.
yeah,
He's in
you
that,
know,
and he's in
you
that,
you
and
right
he's
on
in
that.
that, and he's in that
And
situation.
yeah,
And the thing with you said about LeBron, and the thing you mentioned with LeBron, well, LeBron, he takes pay cuts because like he makes so much money outside of the NBA, he can afford that. It's like it ain't
yeah. Also,
LeBron could be the
LeBron is really smart because if he takes a pay cut, that allows money to the organization to get
right,
superstars that he wants. So that I understand because LeBron the last couple of years he hasn't gone paid what he you know. Give me 1 second, guys. I got a phone call, but I'll be right back.
Oh, it's all good, man.
So
We
good.
go on with
But
the
he got
conversation.
225. So he the highest paid player in the NBA.
That's what it looks like.
Gosh.
Two
All right.
hundred and
Cool.
twenty-five million dollars.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I'm glad.
sometimes
I'm
you.
glad they did that. I'm glad that they were able to attach themselves to him for those 5 years. Now that they have that, no one actually learned from the James Harden contract. If you look at that situation, they in that
Yeah,
same situation. Teams didn't learn from that.
yeah, that is true. You know, what I mean, these players nowadays are getting paid a lot of money. I'm not even gonna front, and well deserved because I think you should get paid for your talent. James Harden is a ultimate scorer. He scores in any way possible. Yeah, he travels most of the time, but we're not even gonna go there. But you know, it's fun to watch the league how it's evolving. I think the commissioner is doing a great job. Players are allowed to go where they want to go. You know,
But here's my thing, though, man. Like I understand that, and a lot of individual talents that there's so many superstars in the NBA that can make a bunch of money based off their individual talent. My problem is when you can't get your team across the finish line, and you get top tier, top dollar, and you
and
ain't
that's
even
that,
top
that's what I
five
was saying.
player.
That's what
Like,
I was saying. That if you don't prove yourself first before I give you that type of money,
yeah, like
to me, is one. I could take that money for what I'm paying for one player, and I could get four hungry players. They are going to take me there, and then they're gonna request the money that they want to request.
Right.
You know, that's something that Detroit used to do. If you guys remember back in the when John Z. Billups, you know, Rip Hamilton and them, that's what they did. Instead of paying one player a large sum amount of money, they will bring pieces together on a small contract, short contracts, then extend them to big contracts. Because if you guys, you could even Google this. When John Z. Billups was in the league and he got to Detroit, he wasn't getting paid high top dollars until
Right.
after that first championship. And if you notice, he won that championship. Then Rip Hamilton got a big contract, and so on. Rasheed Wallace went on and got money. You know, like everybody started getting money because they won the championship. Because the same thing happens in Golden State. Golden State for a long time was not paying nobody top dollar. They were just picking up scraps, and that's why they were at the bottom of the barrel when it came to the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So
But yeah. But you know that Paul George. But he also shown that how like they shows you that like they trying to get free agents next year because like they showed that even what Paul George went through, we still stand behind him.
oh
And
yeah,
that's
no,
so
that
that's
shows
also
loyalty.
shows
That shows
so that's
loyalty
also
on the
it
team.
shows loyalty and that could attract other players to help build that team to be successful.
I mean, I don't know who would not want to go to LA, whether it's the Clipper or the Lakers. To me, is it's it's a bright
Yeah,
idea to go to LA. That's a one is a big market, whether it's the Clippers
right.
or the Lakers. You are in LA, so more opportunity business wise. That's one of the reasons why LeBron went to the West Coast because let's be honest, you ain't gonna get that many business opportunity in damn Ohio.
Yeah,
So
you're not,
you know
especially in
he
Cleveland.
that's why he
Oh,
went to Miami, and then he went to. If you notice where he has transitioned to is big markets. You know, it's not little markets. So that's why when people ask, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. I grew up watching the Knicks, and I'm gonna say it right here. I hate the Knicks because I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna be specific why. Like I said, being a New Yorker, if you look at what the Knicks have done over the past 15 years, it's ridiculous. One is you get levels of superstars that are not really to that level yet, and you pay them high top dollars, and then you go and jack up the draft. You know, you have Porzingis. You went and traded Porzingis. Porzingis left. Me as a GM, and I know what I have on Porzingis and what already he has shown. I will have done everything in my power to keep him again, but this is why the Knicks are the Knicks. And I feel bad for some of these rookies because any player that goes to the Knicks, their game changes. I don't know why, but their game changes. It's not what they were famous for. They become something else, and I don't know why. And and I tell people all the time that's why a lot of players now going to Jersey, to Brooklyn Nets. My bad, to Brooklyn Nets. I'm old school. I still remember the
Knicks don't because Knicks don't know how to develop players. That's the other
They
reason.
don't.
Really, the reason
They
they
don't.
don't know how to develop players.
And not only that, when a player actually gets comfortable on the offense, that is running the offense, if you guys notice, the first thing they do is they trade him.
Yeah,
We
The
got
they
minute,
couldn't even keep. They couldn't even keep Porzingis. That was like they couldn't even keep Porzingis, man. Like,
and then what you got on return, it wasn't like you got top quality players because
oh my gosh, that was a
I
steal.
that was highway robbery by man Mark Cuban. I give it to Mark Cuban. That was highway robbery. But this is the thing that I was saying. These organizations, they are used to be top organizations, now are not top organizations because they are going away from the blueprint of what the league is
Knicks,
now.
Knicks never had a superstar. I ain't going that far. I ain't going that
Yeah,
far.
Knicks I had a couple of superstars.
I ain't going
Let's,
that far, man. We
yeah,
ain't doing that.
let's
We ain't
let's
doing
get
that.
that DKM. The Knicks I had superstars. The problem is that they lose themselves once they come into the Knicks.
Yeah, Pat
That is,
Ewing, Bernard King. We're not doing that, man. We're not doing
yeah.
yeah,
that.
the Knicks had
We're
some.
not doing.
You
We ain't
talk.
doing
We had a couple of all stars too. You had John Starks was an all star.
that.
Charles Oakley was an all star. Anthony Mason was an all star. Patrick Ewing. At one
Look,
point, you
look,
had,
man. I am happy for the little brother down the hallway Clippers who will never be anything but the little brother down the hallway, and they need to not disrespect the Lakers anymore by kind of cover up our banners. I can't help it because you don't
Oh
have any.
man,
The quicker you can get out of the Staples Center, the better for you. And if they want to spend all their money on two players, good for them. That's what they're doing because that is a garbage hole. Going to play for the Clippers is just like going to play for a black hole. You ain't going nowhere. You're gonna stay there
oh
and you're not
man.
gonna win nothing.
Come
You ain't
on, man.
Don't speak too
we,
soon. Listen,
we
Kawhi.
run
Listen,
the
you
city,
see,
man. I'm gonna speak
yeah,
on it.
you,
We run the
yeah.
city. LA is ran by the Lakers.
That's
Period.
facts. That's facts. But here's the
Period.
thing, though. You see Kawhi speaking more.
yeah,
Kawhi
You
can
see that
speak
man
on
speaking
he
more.
spoke he spoke last time. Man, I went come on. Look, I went to San Diego State. I'm a Kawhi Leonard. That's my dude all day. I'm a Kawhi. I wasn't even a LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I was born a Lakers
Right.
fan. And the thing
Right.
about it is that Kawhi is not, he's only one person and he can only do so much. Just like LeBron. You can't do it on your own. You're not gonna win a championship now.
yeah. I know what you're saying, but the problem is that he did not. He's not like LeBron. LeBron is selective of who he wants to play around with.
So is Kawhi. He
Kawhi
selected
was
our
that
board.
too. He recruited Serge Ibaka. He recruited Serge Ibaka.
Exactly.
Yes,
He
but
selected.
he recruited Serge Ibaka because he played with him in Toronto.
Look, he could have had a dynasty if he stayed in Toronto. I'll tell you that.
Yes, he could have.
He could have had a dynasty there.
But because he wanted to be close to home and everything else, and then he wanted to be in Canada and all
Yeah,
that.
Toronto is a nice place, but it's a lot. It gets tricky when you're an NBA player playing over in Toronto when it comes to like the money,
Yeah,
just
the
traveling,
taxes, the
taxes, and all
traveling,
that stuff.
all
All
that
that
stuff.
stuff.
Now, a lot of players have said, I say that that's one of the reasons. Let's understand it here. Toronto got on the map because of Vince Carter. Toronto started becoming a super powerhouse because they won a championship. Now it's going to keep going. It's going to happen. Now if you notice, they made it pretty far without Kawhi. So it's not like you got a bunch of bums over there. You got some pretty good players over there. They made it pretty far on the bubble without Kawhi.
Hey, Marciano, I
Yeah,
gotta
bro.
say this. Shout out to DKM and congratulations to
Yeah,
him
shout
for
out to DKM.
130,000 subscribers. Congratulations to that brother.
Yeah, that's what's
He's
up,
one of the
man.
most humble YouTubers around. Uh, he's still asking for advice. He can easily ignore me, treat me like any other person, but he's humble enough to listen to his fans, listen to his subscribers. Shout out to the brother. And also, we got IBD Press in the building. Now, his mic is muted.
Yeah, I'm back.
He's on now. You on, brother? What you
Yeah.
got?
Well, YV.
Yeah, and subscribe to his channel, by the way.
I'm
So,
subscribing to all of your channels. Like I said, I was on YouTube 2010. I left and now I came back. So I'm definitely gonna subscribe to all of your channels because, like
for
I said, I
sure.
really bump into this. It pop up on my feed, and I saw you guys live, and I definitely love to talk basketball.
Yeah, the
So
algorithm, man.
yeah.
So, IBD Press, what you had to say about Liangelo? You think he's gonna get some minutes in this preseason? You think he's gonna make the final roster? I want to hear your opinion.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, this Fahara with IVD Press. I think that if he do good in these preseason games, that's going to be his ticket to figure out what they going to actually do with him. Now, say for instance, he does really good, but he don't fit a part of their team. By the contract that he has, another team can pick him up at any time. So, unless he don't sign a full-on contract with the Pistons. So I think he's in the best situation that he could possibly be in his whole career. Um, I it's like when we get to the stats, like I be saying stupid numbers. So y'all don't want to hear my y'all don't want to hear my stats. My stats stupid numbers. If he get in a few games on his preseason and he make the shots, cause don't tell how long he gonna have on the floor if he have any time on the floor. If he just makes those shots while he on the floor, I can see them possibly picking him up, or I can see another team being interested in it and pick him up. So if he just get in there and he throw down those shots, the little time he may have in there, I believe he'll be fine wherever he go. He's a team player.
I think the league is going to be watching. Every team in the league is going to be watching. One, the simple fact that, of course, his little brother got drafted, his big brother is drafted. So now they're looking at the middle child to see what he's capable of doing. Jello, unfortunately for him, because of the stupid decision that he made overseas, he's the black sheep. Let's make it obvious. He's the black sheep. It's not that he's not talented because the kid could score. The kid definitely could score. He's pretty big. He's built kind of like a old school Charles Barkley kind of built. Um, of course, over the years he had a couple of foot problems with his ankle, but apparently, according to his dad, everything is 100 now, so everything is straight. So I think definitely someone is going to pick him up. He might not stay in Detroit, but I think definitely someone is going to pick him up. And I'm going, believe it or not, I'm going with, I will say that it'll be like a bottom team that will pick him up. Somebody that needs fans because people is going to come watching because it's one of the Ball brothers. They want to see what's the fuss all about. So
I ain't gonna lie, if the Pistons don't keep him, I would love to see him in Chicago. I think that'll be a cool designated spot for him to get possibly some minutes and some shots up. I think the dream would be for him to start off over there where he is now with the Pistons and end up somewhere like Charlotte. You know, I think that's probably everybody's dream situation. But being realistic, if he get picked up by somebody, I'm hoping it's somebody like the Bulls, somebody that's not expected to do a whole lot this season, that he can go over there and shine and possibly get some minutes.
I would love to see Jello get picked up by somebody like a Golden State. I just think that, a culture of shooters and a high-profile team allow him to develop slower than a team that needs him to come in and be effective right now. So I think there's on both sides of it. You can say there's a case for, going to an experienced team that he can sit behind some key shooters and kind of develop his game some until he's ready to roll. But I just think that, there could be a big team that creeps in there and tries to steal him. I mean, Lakers, Clippers, all of them.
could end up. Everybody could use a shooter at some point. Part of their game, somebody could use a shooter if you don't have a bunch of them on your bench. So I just think that there's a possibility any team could creep up on him if he can get enough court time to show that he can show that quick release, that 3-pointer. There's going to be people calling for him right away.
One of you guys said definitely that is true. Depending on this first game and depending how much confidence he has to take these shots when it's called upon, that's what's going to determine, because it's all about the confidence in the NBA. Are you willing to take the shots when they are given to you? And like I was saying earlier, the only reason why Lonzo had such a horrible year last year, not so much horrible, but difficult year, it was because all the off-court situation he had going on. And of course, confidence level of the teammates. If your teammates don't have the confidence on you to give you the ball at any situation, you're going to be in trouble. Whether you're a point guard, a shooting guard, a power forward, small forward, it doesn't matter. And that's what happens sometimes with a lot of players. They are deep in the bench. They are super talented. The problem is that the rest of the team do not think that they have the talent when the time is called. And
I think that I don't think he feel pressure like Lonzo do. If
I
you
don't
look
know.
at,
I don't think he does. I don't think he's gonna have that pressure. He don't have nothing to be pressure about. He didn't get drafted, so he is there on pure work. Not like he has a guarantee anything. He gonna have to prove himself to get a guaranteed contract, because that's what it boils down to. He only got a temporary contract. He could be out of there game 3. So
I gotta say this, Marciano. Um, I agree with Fahara on one thing. Jello, not just Jello, but LaMelo. Those two, for some reason, they have their father's mentality. They have the mentality of to get yours no matter what.
Right.
And we all respect Lonzo and knows he's very important to the Pelicans. His amazing passing, his defense, and his playmaking ability to set
Oh, I think Lance is gonna have a
teammates up.
breakout year
But one
this
thing
year.
he was lacking, and he made sure, yeah, one thing he was lacking is the fact that when he got challenged, he didn't go out swinging. And he got to realize everybody else is looking out for themselves. Everybody else in the NBA is trying to get their stats up, their bag up. So what Lonzo got to do is take that same energy and attack them back. And hopefully he does that this season. True to King, I want you to close. What you think about, Jello, what he may do? It's too early to tell, but what Jello may do. True to King there? Okay. What about Shanker?
Yep.
Yeah, before I
I
close,
think. What was that?
I said before I close, I wanted you to get the final remarks.
I think Jello, if given the opportunity to get on the court, I think once he gets the first couple minute jitters out of his veins, because this is the first time he's on an NBA court with players, I think if he gets into his game, he'll start. One shot goes in, it's over. He's gonna light him up. But if he misses one, it might affect him. It'll be interesting to see. But I do give him all the opportunity. I think he'll have all the chance to make it under that coach. I think the coach is going to give him a chance, and I think that's all he needs, and that's all we have always wanted for him. It's just an opportunity to see what he could do against the talent. So, I think my judgment will be left for, once he gets in, how he adapts to that. But I definitely don't think it'll be over for him regardless, because somebody's going to give him a time to develop. He's worth the time. And that's what I think that these NBA coaches will see. He's worth the time to let him develop, whether it be in the G League or give him a shot on the roster, depending on how he comes out and plays.
And Fahara, any last words, my brother? And before you start, subscribe to this brother's channel. He got 2 channels, and especially the IVD Press.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. The thing is, I just want him to go in and do his thing. If he go in and shoot that ball like he know he can, and he had 2 or 3 minutes on the floor, he can make 2 shots. Yeah, even 2-pointer, 3-pointer. I'm not even being greedy, but if he can just go in there and show his worth, I believe that I believe he NBA ready. His trip to the NBA was much harder than his brothers. He got a lot more to prove to people, and I just feel like he got it. He don't have that thing where I hadn't seen him have that problem where he have an irritating game and he's shooting bad and he like giving up. I've never seen it. I've seen that in Lonzo, but I hadn't seen that in him. So I just think I put like this. I'm gonna say this before I go. For him to make it to the G League, right? For him to make it to the G League, you have to be exceptional. That's not an easy job. And for him to not play a game in the G League and to get picked up by the by Detroit, that says a lot. That means that something is happening that we're not necessarily seeing, but something is happening that these people are falling in love with him and giving him a chance. His dad can't do that. JJ can't do that. They can't tell that billionaire to just pay him anyway. He might be all right. They have to see something in him themselves. So for him to make it this far and not playing the G League team and actually sign a contract with the Detroit Pistons, that says a lot about his work ethic. And like JJ could help him get the probably come in, look at him, blah blah, but he not the reason why they giving Liangelo Ball money. So I want to
Exactly.
say that, man, he had to go out there and work for that.
I want to thank you, brothers, for joining the chat. It's all love from here. We're going to do this more often. I want to thank you for keeping it professional, being like men, not being beta males. Each and every one of you who spoke today were real. I want to thank True the King, Shanker, Marciano, IVD Press, aka Fahara. You brothers are good brothers. Shout out to DKM who's in the chat for supporting me before I even had 1,000+ subs. All praise to the Most High. Most love to everyone. Peace.
Hey, peace. Appreciate you, man.